I'm Charlene Coburn. I live in Gainesville, Georgia at the present time. I graduated from high school in 1938 in the state of Louisiana, and I was off to college. Had an appendectomy and had to be home and miss a quarter, and at that time, the United States, all forces, armed forces, were having maneuvers in my home state in Louisiana. My mother loaned me to the chief operator, who was a friend of hers, to help man the switchboards. The calls were so swamped, and you can imagine the antiquated boards we had at that time. To make a long story short, World War II started, and I immediately was hired by the telephone company to help do the calls that was coming in associated with the war. We also, a group of us telephone operators, were taken to Camp Claiborne, Louisiana. They built us a switchboard, a dormitory, and we had 24-hour guards, naturally with communications. I did a lot of President Roosevelt's calls at that time. And from there, I was sent around to various port cities to do overseas calls and ended up in Atlanta for 3 months. But after the 3 months, they asked me to stay, or there was a telephone company assigned me to stay in Atlanta longer to help with the post-war calls. And from there, it was a decision. My dad did not wish me to work. He was in the oil production business and wanted his daughter home. So the only way that I could continue to stay where I was in Atlanta was to go to school. So I started to Atlanta Law School and finished that in 1951. Well, women did go to school, law school, and certainly they didn't have outside jobs. But I gave the telephone company an ultimatum: either give me a better job or I was going to try my hand at private law practice. Well, they elevated me to the man's, quote, man's job at that time, as we quoted it. And thereafter, I stayed with them and retired in 1974. Well, Isle of Mines, there was workshops, so I thought I'd better get busy doing something. So I started restoring antebellum and historical houses around Helen, Georgia. And from there, Jim Walters Prefab Homes called me one day and saw the work going on, asked me if I would move his display lot. Well, I wasn't in the moving business, but the gentleman that was moving my houses happened to be there, and I mentioned to him what was going on, and he said he would stay and help me move them if I wanted to do them. So I said, yes, sir, where do you want to move? And that's how I went into the structural moving business. And I'm still in the structural moving business on an international basis, and have helped so many people have homes and that would never have a home in their life if they had the land to put them on. But right now, believe it or not, I'm helping a doctor friend of mine restore and salvage a house in Tennessee. So physically, I am still working. I just celebrated my 96th birthday today.